He said, I'm going to drug them out. I'm going to get them all on drugs, and I'm going to pimp their ass out to my...
There was no Me Too at that time. There was no protecting anyone at that time. You signed a million NDAs and a million contracts that took away all your rights. So you really were operating in an environment that you had no control in.
Aubrey O'Day just exposed Diddy for sending his goons to unalive her after she spoke out about the mistreatment that she and her group members endured while they were still signed to his record label. Aubrey accused Diddy of trying to turn her into an escort and almost forcing her into one of his freak-offs. She's been the most vocal person out of the group, and she's actually been speaking on Diddy's depraved ways years before Cassie came out with her lawsuit. What's even more disturbing is that Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal also came out of the woodworks and confirmed all of the allegations that Aubrey made against Diddy. So now, not only is she putting her life on the line to expose the truth, but she also has to relive the trauma that Diddy put her through. For those of y'all who didn't know, Aubrey was part of the very popular girl group Danity Kane, and they were signed to Diddy's infamous label Bad Boy Entertainment. The group was made up of 5 girls: Andrea, D. Woods, Shannon, Dawn, and Aubrey O'Day. Diddy actually signed them to his label after discovering them on his show with MTV, Making the Band. However, shortly after he signed them, the group realized they made a huge mistake by signing to his label, and as expected, Aubrey was real loud about it. She and Diddy used to fight all the time because she just didn't have it in her to tolerate his BS. Whenever she stood her ground and went up against Diddy for how he was treating them, he would make it look like she was being disrespectful.
I'm done with all of that.
No. Like, what do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair, though.
I don't like big hair.
You do like big hair. You like big hair. You like a lot of makeup and all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown out. Whether my hair is straight, curly, whatever. I'm not here in a group to have curly, straight, big makeup, whatever. I'm here in a group to sing with my group, and that is all I care about. For real, maybe you just don't get me.
But this was just the beginning of it, because Aubrey later revealed that Diddy would try to convince the girls to indulge in freak-offs against their will. Not only that, but she said Diddy would verbally and psychologically mistreat them when they rejected his advances. Aside from the uncomfortable advances that he was making, he was also telling Aubrey and her group members what to wear and how to dress. At the time, he tried to make it look like he was prepping them to be more marketable, but it turns out he was just trying to pimp them out to some industry men. This was confirmed by Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, who said the things that he heard Diddy talking about, like how he was gonna the girls and pimp them out to his guys to have their way with them.
And I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm going to off and pick them up and pimp them out to my nick. He said, I'm going to them out. I'm going to get them all on, and I'm going to pimp their ass out to my nick. I was like, there's somebody kids, and walked out. And it's somebody that heard me. It's somebody that heard me. I mean, well, it's not only somebody that heard me, it's somebody that I know who was in the studio at the time that happened, and I still talk to him today. And we were just talking about that the other day. He done moved back to Indiana. I don't know why. I'm gonna give you that one. He said he was gonna them all out and pimp them out.
And it gets worse, y'all, because there were rumors that Diddy was forcing Aubrey and the other group members to sign an NDA so they wouldn't be able to say all the things that he was doing to them behind the scenes. These allegations only got worse when Diddy decided to give back the publishing rights that he stole from his artists after keeping it to himself for over 30 years and cashing out most of the royalties. Apparently, he was only giving them back their publishing rights under one condition, and that condition was in question for them to sign an NDA, promising to never speak about what happened during their days at Bad Boy. Can y'all believe this? He literally kept their publishing to himself for years, and the only way he was willing to give it to them was for them to sign an NDA, in which they basically decide to never talk about the mistreatment that he put them through. And get this, y'all, he actually tried to make them sign an NDA just weeks before Cassie slapped him with her lawsuit. Like he knew the lawsuit was coming and was basically just trying to do some damage control. Luckily for Aubrey, she got on to Diddy's antics real quickly, and she told all of her group members not to sign that NDA.
I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
So that you just got recently for this thing?
I got it a few months ago when he started doing
this. In the news now.
So what's happening is artists, some of them, not all of them, are being given streaming royalties and ownership back over our publishing on songs that we wrote at a time when you know that you have to stream a song 1 million times to make a cent.
Yeah.
Okay, it's hundreds of dollars. And me, as somebody that's a girl's girl, I hit everyone in my group and said, absolutely do not take this deal. I can get us a show on Hulu right now.
This was later also confirmed by Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal, who said that Danity Kane were actually the only ones who didn't sign that NDA.
Did Diddy make his artists sign NDAs and people that work for him?
Well, a lot of these rappers, a lot of these industry people, anybody who does business nowadays with the internet, they have NDAs, non-disclosure. That means that if you work for them, you around them, you can't disclose any of the information about them. It's the same thing that he gave to all his artists when he gave them their publishing back. I'm gonna give y'all publishing, but y'all can't talk about Janice Combs, Justin Combs, Sony, Bad Boy, or anything that happened. Y'all can't talk about none of that. But there's some artists that didn't say anything, that didn't sign it, and they able to talk about anything they want to. And I think that's those girls that was, I think Danity Kane. I think a couple of them didn't sign it. And boy, oh boy, they probably gonna go after him too.
As if all this wasn't bad enough, Aubrey said Diddy used to intentionally pit her and her group members against each other to cause misunderstandings in the group so he could have better control.
We have to tell during a time in music where there were gatekeepers, there were people that owned labels like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the divisiveness occurred and the things that we experienced between each other and us against the system are insane.
Now, as I said before, this ain't the first time that Aubrey has called Diddy out for how he mistreated them. In fact, during her interview on the Call Her Daddy podcast, she accused Diddy of body shaming them and kicking her out of the group after she refused to do a freak off with him.
It's everything you could imagine why somebody would want to fire somebody. I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas. So it's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around, and that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore, like what happened? You don't have anything, like you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good-looking person. And there was no Me Too at that time. There was no protecting anyone at that time. You signed 1 million NDAs and 1 million contracts that took away all your rights. So
he used to go in on them and say the nastiest things about their bodies every time they would gain a little weight or switch up their hairstyle. He treated them like his personal dolls and controlled every aspect of their lives. But of course, the only one who had the guts to stand up to him was Aubrey, and he absolutely hated her for it.
Let's talk about the choice of it. Character change, and is this something you feel you want to stay with?
I really like it. I mean, I love being one too, but I like it. And
hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it makes you look hard. It puts age on you, unnecessary age. You're a very beautiful girl. You, Andrea, you look pleasantly plump here. When in person, you don't really look like this. I don't know if it's the way the picture was taken.
I think it was the drastic kind of.
But also your hair, some of the hairstyles that I've seen, y'all looking overly glamorous, like where it's just a lot of hair. It's a lot of fake hair, a lot of fake eyelashes, a lot of makeup. And we'll get to you in a second with that, Aubrey. I really want to try to go for more of a fashion-forward image for y'all.
And believe it or not, people were in support of how Diddy was talking to them because they thought he was prepping them for the industry. I mean, nobody in their right mind still thinks like that now, but at the time, people really used to think Diddy was a good person. After getting to know all this, it's actually not surprising anymore that he wanted Aubrey out of the picture because she knows way too much, and she's made it very clear that she would not hesitate to drag him to hell if given the chance. Now, after Diddy made that very laughable apology video addressing the video of him mistreating Cassie at the hotel, back in 2016, Aubrey was one of the first people to call him out on the fake apology, and she went in on him. She posted a statement that Diddy had made a few months ago, basically calling Cassie a liar, and she said, "Diddy did not apologize to Cassie. He apologized to the world for seeing what he did. He says he's disgusted with himself now, and he was disgusted with himself then, but apparently he wasn't disgusted enough with himself to not pen this statement out calling her a liar and denying all of it. Leave God and Mercy out of this. They aren't present here and you know it." Aubrey does not plan to take her foot off Diddy's neck anytime soon, and none of the plans of stopping her are gonna work. As usual, people had their own thoughts about this, like this person who said, "Aubrey's story has never changed. I respect her for that. Her voice was lost all this time, but Cassie has opened the door for people to come forward and share their experiences against Powerpuff." Another person said, "Aubrey is brave. Diddy needs to go down. He's been doing this to folks for too long now, and he needs to be held accountable, whether it's through financial ruin, career demise, or whatever. Please let time be up for Diddy." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Diddy getting exposed for almost unaliving Aubrey? And do y'all think he's trying to silence her from speaking out? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.